Tim Rice and Andrew Lloyd Webber's landmark musical, Jesus Christ Superstar, is returning to Broadway for the first time since its 1971 world premiere. It will open April 16th at the Ford Center for the Performing Arts. This new Broadway production, directed by Gale Edwards, is inspired by her phenomenally successful production which recently ran throughout the United Kingdom. Jesus Christ Superstar features Maya Diggs as Mary, Jason Pebworth as Judas, Paul Kandel as Herod, Kevin Gray as Pilate, and Glenn Carter as Jesus.
There is not one of you who cannot win the kingdom. The slow suffering, the quick, the dead.
A sense of immediacy, a sense of modernity, that if Jesus came back today, he would probably be as big a threat to the system as what he was then, and he would probably be a great light extinguished from the world, because that's what we tend to do as human beings. We tend to be very threatened by people like Jesus. I also want it to be an event that an audience participates in as a piece of great drama. And the only way to do that is to create real characters that people care about. We go to the theatre to see real people coping in extraordinary situations. That's what Shakespeare's all about, and that's what this is about. This is the greatest crisis of all time. This is the crucifixion of Christ, and everyone is part of that story. And I'm fascinated by the fact that these were real guys, real people. What did they feel? What did they go through? And a lot of that is in Tim Rice's lyrics, and a lot of it is in Andrew's music, and so we have the best material to work on.
I think the show raises a lot of questions about what we really think about love and what we really think about friendship. And Judas, I think people tend to forget the fact that Judas wasn't this extra guy that showed up at the end and stabbed somebody in the back. This was a man who was one of the 12 chosen apostles that traveled with Jesus from city to city and ultimately into Jerusalem. And to have done that, there had to have been true love and a true understanding of the journey that he was on. I don't think he would have done this for 3 years knowing in the back of his mind, oh, hey, I think I'm going to kill somebody or I'm going to turn him in. So that's what we try to look into, and we investigate that, and we look into, we sort of dissect the myth of Judas, I think, the myth of what brought him to do what he did ultimately.
Well, we've kind of tried to explore this together. I brought some ideas to it that were different, I understand, from the way Herod was approached before, and what we were trying to do is find the truth in it, which is what she's been trying to do in this entire process. Take each moment of this really rich story and find the truth in it, and the truth in each character. And so that's what we've been trying to do. The truth of a person who is the son of a great ruler, probably watched his father have a miserable life trying to manipulate power, and has insulated himself from everything awful and political, and enjoys his life.
I think the piece is very political. I think the piece is very modern that way. And she has a very strong point of view about that, and about idolatry, and about the press, and about the way things work today. I think, you know, one of the things that she came to is, what would happen if this man was alive today? It's really that concept. What would happen to him if he walked in and appeared before Bill Clinton instead of before Pontius Pilate? How would he respond? What would he want to do? And I think that's sort of at the heart of the conflict. And also, I think at the heart of Gale's production is the question of who is really a villain here and who isn't. I don't think that she believes that Judas and Pilate and Herod are villains. More people caught in circumstance, which I think is much more interesting. It's an extraordinary production. It's totally unlike anybody else's production. I mean, this is not Your Father's Superstar. You'll never see another one like it. It's really quite extraordinary.
I think we've all been in a place, one time or another, where we've loved someone so much and we didn't get it back. And they may have been like really nice to us, you know? And they may have touched our face and very gently and very beautifully and stuck up for us when everyone else was coming down on us. But they wouldn't go that extra step. You know, how do you deal with that? I mean, that hurts. That really, really, that's real heartache. I've been there. So, and you can't freak out. You can't, like, lose control. Because, you know, you don't want that, you don't want to scare that person away. You don't want that person to feel like you're weak. You always want to comfort that person. But there's only so much you can take as far as waiting for it to hit that next level. And how do you ever give up on that, you know?
There is nothing about this production that has ever been done before, which is amazing.
And your interpretation of Jesus, has it changed at all or altered a bit?
Yeah, it always... I couldn't call myself an actor if I didn't kind of, you know, take influences from the personalities that are standing opposite me. I would be a robot. So yes, it has changed, and it will change every day. I mean, it changes every night depending on chemistry. So yeah, absolutely.
And what it was like today, putting this up for the first time in front of a different set of eyes outside of the studio?
Bizarre. It was exciting. It was really exciting. There's an amazing energy about New York. I don't know about America because I haven't been anywhere else, and I've only been in New York for 4 or 5 weeks. It's an amazing place with incredible enthusiasm and integrity and honesty, and it's just an amazing place. So it was exciting. The whole company were excited. I was excited. It was carried along on a wave of enthusiasm. It was fab.
Do you ever think back when this was first done that they sort of altered, they changed the whole way that theater was written and what they did when Superstar first came out in 1970?
Yeah, it's amazing, especially that they were 20 years old, Andrew Lloyd Webber, Sir Andrew and Tim Rice. An amazing achievement. To have that music still relevant today, and politically this show is so relevant today, possibly more so than it was when it originally was produced. The way that certainly the way that Gale is approaching it, it has incredible relevance, which is an amazing feat for 2 young men to have written something that spans decades.
And it seems that mankind keeps repeating itself. I mean, this happened such a long time ago, but there's so many relevant messages in this show.
Yeah, there are, and there are so many relevant messages in this show. The main question is we've developed as a humanity amazingly since 2,000 years ago. Scientifically, computers, we fly, we're in the air, we're in outer space. But spiritually, how well have we developed? In regimes around the world, we are still destroying people, absolutely violating human beings because of their political view, because they do not want to conform to a way that they've been told to conform to. So we have to, as a humanity, bear responsibility, as America clearly does, right across the world, of making people aware of this. And I think it's impossible to sit in the auditorium of this production and not ask those questions of yourself, and to rethink about Jesus died for us. Amazing, but what does it actually mean? And to this production, you have to answer those questions.